ArsenalFanTV. I've got Alan with me and Edu. Alan's from the Nashville Gooners.
Nashville.
All right, and Edu from Washington Gooners.
Correct. DC
All right.
Armory.
Sorry?
DC Armory, that's what we call it.
DC Armory. Now, first I'm going to start off with you, Alan. Nashville Gooners. I know Nashville's like famous for NASCAR. They're really beyond in NASCAR there. They love like the American football and ice hockey and things like that.
Absolutely.
How did you get an Arsenal group going in Nashville? And plus as well, you don't have a Nashville accent either.
No, I don't. I also teach Cockney rhyming slang classes as well in Nashville.
Right.
No, but we started a group in a pub in Printers Alley in the middle of Nashville. It's an English pub in the basement, and there was loads of people watching football games down there, but there was no Arsenal group.
Yeah.
So I worked with a few other people to set up a group, and we've now, after a few years, evolved it into a group that can be, we've got about 200 members, and if you come to a game, there'll be 60-odd people there any time for most games. And for the big games, you know, we'll fill the pub. So it's watched now, and there's a lot of fans there.
And where are you originally from in England?
Bermondsey. Right near Millwall.
Right near Millwall's ground.
Yeah, I was not a very good fighter, so I...
I hear you on that, I hear you. So you went over for a bit more peace. Over at Arsenal.
Yeah, and my grandfather was an Arsenal fan, and our great-grandfather was a Woolwich Arsenal fan.
Wow,
Yeah,
original.
So I was steered in the direction as a kid towards Arsenal.
Yeah. How long have you been here then?
I've been in the United States almost 20 years, 18 years in fact.
You won't recognise Bermondsey you go back there now, trust me.
I've been down there, it's been crazy.
It's changed, isn't it?
Finance district, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now listen, to you, Edu,
Yes.
I like the name, Edu, remember Edu, also Edu?
Oh,
but,
yeah, kind of, yeah.
yeah, kind of, I'm remixing it, right?
There
But the Washington group, tell us about that.
Sure. So we call ourselves the DC Armory. Our Arsenal bar in DC is called the Lucky Bar. There's a game. They show every Arsenal game. You know, whether it's League Cup game or Carabao Cup game. They always show every during the weekdays.
Yep.
I go there all the time. It's actually right across from my work. So sometimes I sneak out of work to go see the match, which is great. You know, we have a pretty big group. I think we've got some really good representation here in New Orleans.
Yep.
So it's great to be here. I love New Orleans. I've been there 3 times already. So you know, but it's my first time come here for the Gooner Gras. It's so great to be here as a Gooner. Love it.
Gooner Gras thing, I mean, it's like incredible. I mean, there's so many fans from all over America just descending here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and welcome to New Orleans, Robbie. I hope you like the jazz and the jambalaya here.
Yeah.
It's great to
I'm
have
loving
you.
it.
Great.
I'm loving it. Now, listen, what have you made of Arsenal in recent times? I mean, it hasn't been great in the league.
No.
Cup-wise, though,
No,
we've been all right in cups, but league-wise.
It's been a challenge. In our group in Nashville, I've got a lot of younger people there. We've got a lot of universities in Nashville, so there's a big group of young people come to our group, and I think they're pretty much Wenger out. So I try to give the other side of the coin. I don't say you're wrong, but I say look at Wenger and what he's delivering and his strategy. And I actually like his strategy. So I'm a Wenger-in guy. There aren't many of me around these days, but I like his policy with the academy. What he's doing. I look at Niles and players like that coming through. I said, bang on, you know. And he's right. If the prices keep going the way they're going, we aren't going to be able to afford those big players with the financial policy.
Why not, though? They ain't short of a few bob, are they? I mean,
they're not.
Come on, we're not talking about, you know, some local owners from a chip shop in Bermondsey, are we? We're talking about Stan Kroenke, billionaire, Usmanov on the board, billionaire. We're talking about a club that makes a lot of money off of their fans, more than any other club in the world. They've done a survey the other day, you said.
That's true. That is very true. And, you know, Arsenal's what, a 6th richest club in the world? So they've got the money, but it's... I think they've got the 90 million debt still with the stadium from before. Kroenke is a finance guy. I mean, he's invested in the club. He's going to watch his investment, so he's going to be canny. And I think that's the problem with Arsenal. They set it up with a shareholder who has control of the club and the strategy of the club financially. Wenger is a gentleman, and he works with Kroenke's policy. He doesn't buck against that. So I don't blame Wenger. I look at Kroenke and I understand why he's doing it, but I would much prefer that we had within the shareholdership 10% of the shares, something like that, with the fans, that they had a fan's voice there and start pushing the board a bit more in the direction it goes in. That's where I'm at. I'm a middle of the road guy. I don't go crazy. I don't go angry at people for being Wenger out or Wenger in. I just, yeah.
Where do you stand on the whole Wenger thing?
So, well, I think in the short term, yes, we need Wenger to help us, steer through this process. I think eventually we need someone more technically more advanced, kind of maybe a little bit younger, to inject some new mentality, ideas into the team. But I think in the short term, we don't want Wenger just leave it as it is. I think that's going to screw up the whole thing. Like, when Ferguson left Man United, it's going to screw up their team for like 3 or 4 years. So I do think we need him in the short term to help us through this transition. But I do want to make 2 quick points about this Aubameyang deal. I'm really excited for it, but I just want to make 2 quick points. The first is we sold Ox for £40 million, and then we sold Walcott for £20 million. So the total,
we sold him as well.
Right.
Gabriel, we sold him as well.
Right.
The Alexis Sanchez has come off the wage bill, even though I suppose Mkhitaryan's come in and taken that money, but they've got cash there free to do it.
That's exactly my point. So their asking price is 60 million, right? So you basically combine Ox and Walcott together, and probably the total wage is a little bit less what Aubameyang's asked for. So what I'm saying is, if we pay 60 million pounds, we got a striker who give you 30 goals every season. I think it's a fucking pretty good deal, I think we should do it. So don't like nickel and dime, don't try to save money. We already have those income. Let's just spend those money and get the player we really want. So the second point I want to make is there's some skeptics out there saying that, how is Lacazette and Aubameyang is going to exist? Are they going to be able to coexist? I think they don't know what they're talking about. You look at Man City, they have Gabriel Jesus and Aguero. They can coexist. If anything, they make each self better because they compete against each other. I think we should bring this guy in and let him compete with Lacazette. It's only going to bring the best out of them, each other. So let's do it.
And what about you on transfers? I mean, first of all, how did you feel when Alexis went?
Actually, I was happy. I actually was happy. I could see some body language on the field with him that said to me, he's done with the club. He just and the team around him. Arsenal operate most effectively as a team, not individuals. I saw him as an individual, and I think it's good that he's moving on. I'm hoping that the new guys coming in, I'm hoping Orba makes it through the mill. It's going to be good for the club. I think it's going to be quite a challenge, though, with so many strikers up front and still some defensive problems to work through.
Well, it could be Johnny Evans, they're saying.
I know, and actually...
That's looking likely, actually.
And that's not a bad little move, because the guy's solid, he knows what he's doing. You're going to get a couple
experienced guy.
Yeah, get a couple of years out of him, bring those youngsters through, which is, and we've got the Greek guy, so I think, that's the way to go. I'm with it. I think it's all good.
All right, so you heard from the guys there. Looking forward to this whole weekend. Gooner Gras. We stood here on the side of the Mississippi River, and this is going to be fantastic here at Gooner Gras.